What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and yes, we bought something different, but I told you guys in maybe the video before or the video before that we were gonna have to, because we sold my wife's daily driver. So what did we get? I know you guys, some of you are gonna be excited about what you saw. We're gonna take a peek out the door real quick. See that guy sitting up there? Guys, it's raining, so I'm not gonna go out there, but the OBS Tahoe is not what we bought. I kind of tricked you guys, but here's what happened. You know, my wife was daily driving the Yukon, and when the Yukon left, I really didn't want to drive anything out here in the shop in the rain. Now, would it have hurt it? No, probably not. Ultimately, my son was going to drive the NNBS, my wife was going to drive my 2020 GMC Sierra, and I was just going to drive my green truck, rain or shine. But ultimately, I didn't really want to. And I mentioned something to a buddy of mine, and he actually had this. He bought it from single owner. It's really nice. It's just, after my wife driving it for a week, she was ready to be done with that. That is for sure. But we got something different. I'm gonna show you guys that. We're gonna do a few things to it to get started on, you know, kind of, I would call the standard TWA Motorsports stuff that we do to something new that comes in. We're gonna be doing that today. And we're gonna talk about kind of the vehicles that we went through and why we decided to purchase this. But ultimately, we landed on this. And but anyway, so I wanted to show you guys, I wasn't trying to trick you. I just thought that was a good picture for a thumbnail. Also, guys, before we show you what it is, go check out TWAmotorsports.com. I will list that in the description down below, as well as anything I may or may not use in this video will be listed in the video description right below the video. But get yourself a hat, a shirt, a hoodie. Really helps support the channel. So anyway, let's take a look at what we got. Even though it's soaked in rain, you guys are gonna be able to hear the rain in the background here. But we got another Yukon, as you can see. Now this one is a little bit different in the fact that it's an SLT. We had a Denali before, and the Denali has a 6.2. This has a 5.3. Now this is a little bit newer than the one that we had before. The other one was a 2017, and they actually only made the color of our other one for 2 years, 17 and 18, that greenish gray color. This is a 2020. So it doesn't have quite as many features as our other one. But ultimately, guys, we were between, here's what ultimately my wife wanted to do. She wanted to go back to a Tesla, but we have another one on the way. So there's gonna be 3 of us, and a rear-facing car seat and a Tesla Model S just doesn't really work right now. I think we're gonna wait down the road until this new one is in maybe a forward-facing, then we can go to something like that. But right now, it just didn't make sense. So then we were thinking we wanted a new body style, so like the 21 and up of the Yukon, and my wife said she just did not want to, couldn't justify spending the money on that. It just didn't make sense to her. Now, if we would have been a Tesla, she would have, but I get it. I guess I kind of get it. So ultimately, we're back in the same boat, and we probably shouldn't have even sold the other Yukon. As a matter of fact, I saw it today, and it still looks nice, and it's relatively local to me. So anyway, we're gonna be doing similar stuff to this, but I think we're gonna make some tweaks to what we've done. Of course, we're starting with a more base model. This, like I said, is a Denali. You can tell by the front because it doesn't have the Denali like mesh grille like you would normally see. It doesn't have HID headlights, which is cool because we converted those anyway. We're gonna do an LED conversion. I'll kind of talk about some of the stuff I have planned. It does not have the retractable running boards. It has stationary, which, guys, if I had to pick, I told my wife if there were 2 of these sitting side by side, one had retractable and one didn't, I would always pick these. I don't love the retractable ones anyway. Rocks get stuck in them when you're going down the road, and then they hang up and they freeze in the winter. I'm not a fan of them. But this one has the dark, what they would call ebony or black interior, which I do like a lot better. Inside, though, it's pretty much the same. So it still has the same cruise control. It doesn't have the brake controller. Like I said, it's got the 5.3 and the 6-speed. It doesn't have like covers that cover these, which were never covered anyway. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. It's got captains in the back. It does not have a DVD player, but we may do something there on the back of the seats. I always hated the way that hung down. You couldn't see out of the rearview mirror. But anyway, 2020, quite a few less miles than the other one had. And ultimately, guys, now that we have the truck that's actually outside, the Sierra Denali, we did not need a 6.2. So ultimately, the 6.2, I always made her go to a certain gas station and put 93 octane in. This one, we can just use straight old 87 octane. It's a 5.3, it makes gobs of power for what we need it for. Will it occasionally pull the trailer? I don't know. I can't see a reason why it would, unless maybe my truck were unavailable for some reason. But are we gonna drop this thing? You better believe it. It is a 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna try to go just a hair lower than we did before, and we're gonna swap out the entire suspension. On the other Yukon, we had 2-inch spindles in the front with cups to bring the spring down, and in the back, we just had a spring and the DJM relocation stuff. I'm gonna try a little bit different method this time. Of course, we're not doing that in this video, but I just kind of wanted to explain to you what we will be doing. Of course, we're gonna be tinting the windows. I have plans to either white the badge out or go with the Denali grill. She kind of likes the Denali grill if I can find one. They're on back order right now from GM. I've already actually looked. We just got this thing last night. So anyway, of course, we love white around here. I think it's gonna look really good once we're, you know, kind of the point that we want to get to. I'd like to do a different wheel. These wheels have some curb rash on a couple of them. But ultimately, I wanted to show you guys what was going on and talk about some of the plans for it. Yes, we are going to drop it. I don't know how soon. We're going to tint the windows. We're going to debadge it. And as a matter of fact, we are going to start the debadge process right now. And like I said, kind of a standard thing that TWA Motorsports does, I say. But in this one, I think I'm going to attempt to pull this off, which I didn't before. And the only reason I'm going to try to pull that off is because it's a pain to clean around. As this thing catches a bunch of dirt on the back, as you can see, it's the dirtiest part. This gets stuff in these areas, and I have to clean it with a brush. And a lot of times it just doesn't work out. So we're gonna pull this off. We're gonna see if there's any holes behind it. I'm hoping there's not. I don't think there is, but if there is, then we will be putting it right back on. But let's get the stuff that we normally use to do this. I'm gonna use my eraser wheel. I'm gonna use some fishing line, my heat gun. We may grab some, something to knock if there's any ledges after we get done. I'm trying to think of, a clay bar. We'll get that, the heat gun, the eraser wheel, some 3M adhesive remover. Let's see if we can knock this out real quick and at least do that. And then there's a couple stickers like OnStar on the other side. I'm gonna take off with a razor blade just to get those out of the way for my window tint guy. I haven't scheduled an appointment, but I think he'll be able to get it in next week. Like this stuff right here, I don't want that tinted over. So the back, it doesn't have any tint on it right now. We'll probably be going 5% on the side, 5% over what's already there. And then the entire front windshield here lately, guys, I have been doing 50% instead of 35. 35 is what's on my Trans Am. It's what's on my green truck. It's what's on the white Corvette here. And it's incredibly dark at night. And the older I get, the less I want that, but I do want something over the entire windshield. So we'll do 50. I just recently did that on my son's truck, which I don't think I've posted a video with an update of that yet, but I did it on that one. And you can definitely tell, but it's not as dark as these. So let's get started getting these emblems off. Now, I'm just gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna do with the rain making a ton of noise, and you've seen me do this several times. No sense in going through the whole process with you guys. I may time lapse, maybe like this one, and you guys will get an idea. And maybe on the back one, since we've never done one of those before, just to see if there's a hole underneath it. But ultimately, guys, what I do is I start with the heat gun, I heat this thing up. I then use a piece of fishing line. I just got a whole roll of it here, and get behind this and kind of pull the emblems, like cut through the two-sided tape. I then follow that up with the eraser wheel. This doesn't hurt the paint. And then I use my 3M adhesive remover to wipe any excess off. Now, a lot of times if these emblems have been here a while, you're gonna have some like etching or haziness around them because they never get clean, and dirt sets right here on the corner and almost bakes in with the sun. So sometimes you need to use some, like any kind of eraser, or I don't know why I can't think of it, but the clay bar. I don't know why I can't think of clay bar, but anyway, you can use a clay bar to go over it and get that off. And then if it's really bad, you're gonna have to paint correct just this area. It's not gonna be terrible, or at least generally it's not. Hopefully it's not been painted. This one hasn't, but anyway, let's get started. All right, this is what I was talking about. You can still see the outline of this, and our 3M adhesive remover, while it takes off the glue and the residue that may be left behind after the racer wheel, it doesn't take this off. And so we're going to use our clay bar to see if we can knock this off, and it should take care of it. There may be a little bit of haziness here that we'll have to come back and paint correct at a later time. I'm not going to do it right now. But I just kind of wanted to explain to you guys kind of the process here, because I guess more likely because this is white and it just stains a little easier. You may not see this as much on a darker color, but just know that it is there, and if you catch it in a certain light, you'll be able to see it. And generally when you wash them, you'll see it as well. You'll see like an outline of where the logo used to be. So we'll just go back and forth on this. And guys, I've gotten to the point now where if you have quick detailer, you can use it, but most of the time I'm using just straight up water. I don't see the point in, especially like this is an older piece of clay. I don't see the point in wasting a bunch of quick detailer when water gives you the lubrication you need to do this. We'll go over this a couple times, and then we'll kick it to the back. Like I said, I'm not going to show you guys this whole deal, but you can see we've lost a lot of it. We're just going to keep going until that's completely gone. What do you think? Think it's going to come off? I've never taken one of these off. We're going to see in real time. I think it's just two-sided tape. There may be holes in it. I know a couple people have mentioned me taking it off my truck on the tailgate, and I may. For some reason, I'm thinking there's holes back. I think it's in this piece, but I'll give it a shot. I have to get this a lot warmer because it's a lot thicker. Ooh, that's hot. Can't put it under my arm. That's a good sign. So far, so good. Interesting. Two-sided tape. Well, I'm gonna be a little more careful here with my eraser wheel, because on the parts that we're doing normally, like the I'm gonna loosen it up a little with some adhesive remover too, but the parts we're doing like on the doors are metal. This is plastic, so you could potentially get the paint too hot, yank this paint right off, and let's hope that's not a problem. I'm gonna give it a shot here and see. Let's go kind of low speed here. I think this will look pretty good with this off. Definitely etched up. A lot of dirt back here. Probably would have helped if I got a little warmer. Nice. let's wipe this off and yeah, let's see here. Try to wipe all this down. The downside of doing this when it's wet is obviously we're making a huge mess, but I think that's going to come off. We'll start over here where you guys can maybe see it a little better. Oh man, it's actually coming off here better than it did the doors. Probably because, like I said, it's plastic. It'll take a little work and a couple passes, but it's going to come off there, guys. I won't show you anymore. Cool to know that there's no hole back there, though. We are all finished up, and let's take a walk around this thing and look at it. Look, we got, of course, the Yukon badge off the side. I took that off with the razor blade. That was actually the only sticker, guys. I thought there was more than that for some reason, and it's weird that it's just on this side, but got that off, so it's ready for tint. Got the SLT badge off. You guys saw me take the GMC one off back here. It cleaned up really nice. The only thing I'll say is that it looks like somebody may have hit that because there's a little bitty chip right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but we'll touch that up eventually. There's a couple spots in the front bumper that need touched up, just a couple rock chips. I think we'll do that. But we got the badge off from the dealer, the little sticker thing. That just comes off with the racer wheel. Yukon off the tailgate, the SLT badge, the Yukon badge. So guys, it is already looking better, and hopefully you're excited to see this thing dropped. It's gonna go relatively quickly. You know, a lot of this, like I'm not gonna show you guys the window tint. You'll just see it when we start maybe the drop video. But I don't have really a ton of plans aside from what we talked about. So we already got it debadged. I'm gonna get it tinted. I'm probably gonna find some different wheels. Like I said, I don't love this style of wheel. It is a 22. The tires are incredible, but I hate these wheels. So we'll probably find something, and we're gonna have to probably do that. This tire size is actually a 275/50, so it's a little taller than what the last Yukon had. It had a 285/45, which is about a ½ inch shorter. So I think we'll have to do something there, but like I said, I'm planning on getting a little lower, so we may even have to go lower than that. So we'll just have to see. I will show you guys bits and pieces of the drop video, especially the parts that are going to be different and the products different that I'm going to be using. Because like I said, I'm going to try something to make it ride a little better. It's not that the other one rode terrible, but I think we were getting to the end of the mag ride shock's life, or at least I think. I'd like to completely do away with that on this. I don't even know if this thing has mag ride. I'm sure that it does, but either way, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. You know, it's white, it's matching all this other white stuff I have in here. But to me, white does hide a lot, guys. I know that it gets really dirty in like the rain and whatnot, but it also hides a lot of imperfections that you see on dark colors. So really nice for a daily driver. But if you guys do like this new truck, go down there in the comments and let me know about it. Of course, like always, guys, if you are not subscribed, go hit the subscribe button. Ring that bell notification that notifies you every single time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see this thing dropped and what we work on next.